You're listening to Bizarre Buffet, a podcast of all-you-can-eat weird. I'm your host, Mark Torriello.
I'm Jen Wilson.
And I'm Mark Bluestein.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
When we first went in, one of the people said, "Who are you?" And Tex said, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Hello, everyone. It's a very somber day here. Oh, God. Phil Spector and his wigs died. Phil Spector and his wigs died. And here's a tribute, an emotional tribute.
And nobody pointed out to me because it didn't look that way in person. It photographed, the darkness, the lighting, the camera, the shadows, the background, puffed it up to 2 or 3 times its size.
And he's talking about his wig.
Images behind me.
But I actually thought, here's a guy who'll go to court with like a Jufro, and
It didn't bother me though. I just didn't know they were going to make an issue about it.
Oh,
as
God.
I've gotten to know you and looked at you, I think that you actually sometimes do things for effect, and sometimes you do it for a joke that you see that they don't see.
I just don't like the idea that anybody doesn't think I'm taking this not serious.
Oh.
Hey, everyone. This
Hi.
is episode 22 of Bizarre Buffet.
That's right.
22.
22.
Isn't there a Taylor Swift song that's like, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22? I don't know.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm probably singing not even the right melody.
Yes, we actually have a real singer coming on tonight.
I am so excited.
Oh my God, me too.
I find it very interesting that, we're recording this episode on the day that Phil Spector died.
I know.
And,
Yeah.
We covered an episode about him.
Go
and
listen.
You better
Go listen, please.
I think that was 5 episodes ago?
Four or five.
4 or 5.
It was the first episode of this season.
Yeah, season 2 of Bizarre Buffet. Our first episode was called Lord of the Wigs, and it was about Phil Spector, who died today. But now we're kind of covering another music
Iconic.
Yeah.
So, R.I.P. Phil. You may have actually killed somebody, and if you did, bad.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, but I don't think you did.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah, unpopular opinion, but we don't believe it. But you know what, Phil? You left a great kind of sordid legacy. So let's continue on.
Well, let's talk about Madonna.
Vogue. Strike a pose.
I'm posing.
Yeah. Don't worry, just get to it.
Strike a pose.
There's nothing to it, Jen Wilson.
Nothing to it.
Come on, Vogue.
Vogue.
Let your body move to the music.
Move to the... Isn't that a backing vocal she did? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think I sound like a dead cat when I sing.
I feel like that was a great Madonna cover.
So what I want to know is, what are your favorite Madonna eras? Because she has reinvented herself.
Is cowboy hat an era?
Yeah, wasn't she was the cowboy in the music album?
Music.
Makes the people come together.
Yeah. Oh, I was early. Sorry, I'd be fired from backup singing.
I mean, I will always be a fan of Confessions of a Dance Floor.
That was really good one.
That was a really good album.
Yeah, that was a good one.
She looked really good with that strawberry blonde hair.
She did.
That was also the time when she was married, that phase when she was married to Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
And she had that fake British accent.
Oh God, I know. It was it just made you wonder,
Yeah.
why. I also wondered why, excuse me, no offense to her children, why her daughter had that unibrow for 90 years.
Oh, Lourdes.
Yeah, cute.
And then there's Rocco.
Rocco Ritchie.
And then she has a slew of adopted babies.
Doesn't Rocco hate her?
Probably. Rocco is Guy Ritchie's baby. Her and Guy Ritchie's baby.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I read somewhere that like he wants nothing to do with her, and I don't know. We'll have to confirm with our guest.
Speaking of Madonna's, like all of her adopted children, there's I saw this like clip on Instagram or like one of those things, and she's like walking in some like hut village situation in Dolce & Gabbana heels. I don't know if they're Dolce & Gabbana, but I'm gonna assume that they are.
Yeah.
They're like 6-7 inches tall. She like stumbles in them.
It's like, oh,
You know what else was a really good song that's so underrated?
what?
The song that she did for League of Their Own. This used to be my playground.
This used to be my playground.
This used
To be my childhood. Is it childhood dream?
Well, she did a lot.
I'm
didn't
coming
she?
out of the closet.
Oh God, the Madonna
Used to
closet.
be my playground.
Do-do-boo-boo.
This used to be my
Now,
childhood dream.
if my memory serves me
Madonna.
correctly, the music video, it's like a photo album, and each image is like a picture of Madonna, and they're turning the pages, and she's like singing the song in all the photos
Oh.
in the photo album.
What was the song that she did for Dick Tracy?
I don't know.
She did a lot of songs
Didn't
for
she?
movies.
She did do one for Dick Tracy.
She did. Was she in Dick Tracy? I think she might have been.
Didn't she do a movie for
fucking
Austin Powers?
She was in.
No, she did the song. I don't know if
Right.
she was in it. She might have had a cameo. Beautiful Stranger.
Yeah.
Everywhere I
And
go, everybody knows. Beautiful stranger.
Well,
Wow.
Well, do you remember, speaking of movie songs that she did, I was telling Mark this earlier, in like the early 90s, she had one, it's like called I'll Remember, and she had like short black hair and like penciled eyebrows,
Yes.
and it's like, I'll remember the strength that you gave me.
Oh, okay. I kind of remember that.
Mark, what's your favorite Madonna era or moment?
I don't know. I guess I would have to say like 80s Madonna, but also I'm going to tell you why I really one of Madonna's songs has like a certain significance to me. And it's only because it's like involved in cinema and kind of like made in a really weird like setup or scene. But there was this movie called Gummo.
I love that movie.
It's such a fantastic movie. The director is really grim, and he did a movie called Kids. But Chloe Savini.
Is it Gus Van Sant?
Yes.
Is it Gus Van Sant?
No, I feel like
No, I don't think it's him.
No, I don't
Gus
think
Van
so.
Gus
No.
Van Sant did the remake of Psycho.
Yeah, and he did a movie that was really weird, called like Speedway Junkie with Daryl Hannah.
He does a lot of avant-garde out there films.
Yeah, but Gummo, there was like the scene when he was like in the basement lifting weights, and they did Like a Prayer was like the track with the scene, and I just remember it being very kind of impactful and off-putting. So that kind of by default is my favorite Madonna song.
Now, wasn't that the music video where she was like banned from like the
Yeah.
Vatican?
Yeah, like burning crosses, and I think there was like other imagery that I can't quite recall, like all of it, but like there was a lot that was, I guess, problematic for the time.
Well, I know in that video too that she touches on like police brutality and like racism.
Yes, that's right. Because wait, wasn't Jesus in the music video? He was portrayed by a black man. And that was also a big part of the ordeal with it, because they're like, how could you do this? You know, and I think that was part of the deal with it, and the burning crucifixes. But yeah, I'm probably just, Madonna showing some very minimal cleavage was enough to offend the masses.
I really like that Madonna song, but every time I think of it, I think of the scene in Never Been Kissed when Drew Barrymore, aka Josie Grossi, she thinks she's like going to prom with someone, and they come by and they egg her in her metallic dress, and she cries, and then she runs away. But I think that song plays, so every time I hear it, I think of that.
A movie that like I think of when I hear the song Holiday, I think of The Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
Because there's that moment, and it's right after Adam Sandler is supposed to get married, and he gets like left at the altar. Oh. And it's his like first gig after. they're performing Holiday, but he's just like, Holiday, celebrate. I don't know. It's just like every time I hear that song now, I always just think Adam Sandler singing it and crying.
I just loved the guy that was dressed as Boy George constantly.
Yes.
And he only did, "Do you really want to hurt me?"
Do you really want to hurt me?
Shut up. I just remember that.
I wish I saw that musical Taboo years ago on Broadway. And speaking of musicals, that awful film of Evita with Madonna
I never saw it.
and Antonio Banderas as Che Guevara.
You guys want to hear my favorite Madonna
Of
era
course.
genre? I love 80s Madonna.
Oh, yeah.
And my favorite is Get Into the Groove.
Oh, good one.
I love the music video because it's like clips from that movie, Desperately Seeking Susan, which I haven't seen yet.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
I'm dying to see it.
You have to.
I've never
Everyone,
seen it either.
my whole, like, for years, it's one of those movies.
Bizarre Buffet movie night.
Yes. We'll have a live screening with all of you.
Because that movie has been something I've been like wanting to see for years and years and years, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
But like, oh my God. And I like when she wears O-rings, like all the rubber bracelets, I die.
Oh, yeah.
And then Dress You Up in My Love.
Gonna dress you up in my love, in my love.
So-
All over your body, all over your body.
There's like this live version, and I make Mark watch it like every other day.
Yeah, if I have on repeat Satin Sheets.
Yeah.
That's just what gets
I-
repeated in
This
my
is
brain.
just becoming a musical
Borderline.
episode.
I
It
know.
is.
Oh, Borderline.
Borderline
such
is
a
one
good
of my
song.
favorites.
What about Lucky Star? Does nobody like Lucky?
Okay, I'm more
What
of a
the
Borderline
fuck?
kind of girl.
Nobody likes Lucky Star.
I prefer Borderline.
And then Burning Up. I'm burning up for your love.
Was that about chlamydia?
Burning up, maybe.
I heard Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash is about chlamydia.
Really?
I could believe that.
Wow.
Think about it. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns,
Oh,
burns,
he's choking.
burns.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So while we're talking about these,
Sorry to bring up Johnny Cash and chlamydia.
No, that's okay. Chlamydia is the topic of the hour. Minute. I don't know.
So-
Moment. Who cares?
while we're talking about iconic musical geniuses, we have someone that is also a musician coming on our show, and I know he has a very strong connection with the one and only
The Queen of Pop.
Madonna.
Madonna.
Yes.
Madonna Ciccone, for all of you who would like to be appropriate. Real name.
So
Government issued.
all right, guys. So while we're talking about these musical icon geniuses like Phil Spector and Madonna,
Yeah.
our special guest today happens to have a connection with Madonna. And it's a very deep-rooted, unusual connection that I don't think a lot of people would necessarily have or understand. And that's why our guest, Kenny King, is going to be on our show and really express his point of view and his connection with the queen of music or pop music, Madonna.
I am so excited.
He might be our lucky star.
He might be our lucky star.
He might be, but you know what? I'm so glad that he gets this platform to
I am
share.
too.
And he's gonna shine on us wherever we are.
And dress you up in my love.
Dress you up in Kenny King.
Get into the Kenny King groove.
Get into the Kenny King groove. Okay,
Kenny King, this is for
used
you,
to be my
Kenneth.
Kenny
I think-
King.
And you make the
right,
So everyone,
King.
I would like to extend a warm welcome to our friend and guest star, Kenny King. All right, so everyone, welcome Kenny King.
Hi, Kenny.
Hey, Kenny.
Hey, Kenny.
Hi, Mark C. and Jen and Mark K.
Oh, so sweet.
Thank you so much, Kenny, for coming on
I
to
know.
Bizarre
Yeah.
Buffet.
Thank you.
So Kenny, welcome.
Welcome to the show,
And
Kenny King.
Hi.
you are a friend of Bizarre Buffets.
You are.
I
So
love strange things.
We
Good.
all do.
We all do, and we love you.
We love you, Kenny.
Oh.
So Kenny, we were all discussing our favorite Madonna moment or era. So
Okay.
like mine personally is I am obsessed with 80s Madonna, borderline all the way. So for you, since you do have that, deep connection with Madonna, what era is the one that's the most standout for you?
Like when Papa
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I mean, how cool is that, right? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. On with the show.
Don't Preach came out, like I'm conceived.
Okay.
So like I could have been hearing whatever was like maybe played around like when my mother was pregnant with me.
Uh-huh.
Which that happens to be one of my other favorite Madonna songs.
I prefer Open Your Heart out of that whole era.
Oh, open your heart.
Oh, I'll do the whole dance.
Oh my God, I wish we had a live video feed.
If you felt comfortable and you wanted to like put something together for us, we would be more than happy to share it on our Instagram.
Okay, just give me like a couple of days.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, Kenny, I understand you have a deep connection with the song Papa Don't Preach. So can you explain that for us? Because that's really fascinating.
All I can think of is when I did finally hear her voice and was also like old enough and happened to have like seen and heard something she was doing, that it really became like, wait a minute, who is she? I just love her. I love her voice. Okay, so I guess Open Your Heart is like a single that comes out.
So
What happened all
Kenny,
these other years?
so Kenny, you're saying that you were born at the time of Open Your Heart.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm born and then like right after that. According to iTunes, the song Push It was like the song that like was a song on an album that dropped like the night my mother went into labor.
Oh, God.
You know,
So-
you know,
I feel like that's so appropriate going into labor.
Well, Kenny, are you saying that when your mother was in labor with you, the song "Push It" was #1 on the charts?
Or was it playing while she was?
according to iTunes, at least when I last checked.
All right, so Kenny, I just wanted to ask you, with Papa Don't Preach, do you have a memory of listening to it while you're in your mom's womb?
I mean, I can't say like indefinitely yes, but I feel like it's inevitable that I probably heard it.
Okay, so what I get out of it is it kind of seems as though like on this kind of like trans-dimensional level, like
Yeah.
you had this awareness that it was playing, like you felt it in your soul as you were like in utero.
I could say the same.
But not just that song though. It's just like
Right.
that
Madonna's
voice.
soul in general, like
I
it
could-
transcended.
voice.
Yeah.
I could absolutely say the same for like when I was in my mother's womb. Like she played Thriller nonstop. Michael Jackson's Thriller album.
Did you come out in a Michael Jackson jacket?
I sure did.
That's so
Are
cute.
you, at one point you don't have ears, so like, what are you hearing? You're just feeling the like.
You could be feeling it
vibration.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
but
so
not
true.
hearing it at all.
Well,
I
Kenny,
guess until some point.
I think you might find this kind of interesting. So I was born in '87, And my mom plays guitar.
I like to pretend I'm born in your year.
Oh, well, thank you. But while my mom was pregnant with me, my mom plays guitar. And while she was playing the guitar, the vibrations of the strings or the noise or the acoustics would do something to me. My mom said that I would dance in her womb.
Oh my God, what did like Madonna song was she playing by any chance?
I wish.
Maureen, if you're listening.
Maureen, Mama.
He wanted to hear Madonna first, Mom.
Okay, so from like pre-birth, you kind of did have this connection with Madonna. So
Yeah, whether I knew officially or not.
Whether you knew it or not, there was some sort of presence of Madonna in your world or in your womb. So now from the womb, we're going to fast forward through childhood. So tell us about the time where you kind of rediscovered Madonna and you felt some sort of relevance or importance that she had to you.
Okay, well, I think I can definitely recall somehow knowing who and of and what she was, but not officially even knowing what it meant to be like the blonde hottie, like, you know what I mean? Like the alpha female.
Right.
Like, I don't know what that means at like whatever. I don't know what it means at 4 or 5. I don't.
No, of course not.
But I somehow know she is without knowing any of the way to describe it outside of my own head, I guess. In a way, but also still not officially knowing. If Google existed, I would not have been able to Google her. I wouldn't be thinking about who's the sexiest, who's the number one bitch, you know. Do know whenever Alvin and the Chipmunks came out, I swear to you, the Chipettes song like "It's a Material Girl World."
Yes.
Like even if it wasn't, I don't know if it was like her voice was in it, or just the girl or the little Chipmunk.
Little
girl was singing
Chipettes,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. But like I somehow knew of her because of that song. Because that kind of described the personality. So like I remember that Madonna was like somehow a thing.
Right. She was like
Alvin
always
and the
kind
Chipmunks.
of there in the background.
And my aunt would make me, and I always felt like my Aunt Judy was like Madonna, the personality, without knowing yet.
Did she wear
Because
home
she's
bras?
a Leo. Because she was a Leo, born one day after Madonna.
Okay.
But 2 years
I know
before.
she was a Leo.
But 2 years before, so she's not a Chinese dog. Like my Aunt Judy, who I felt like is like the Madonna persona, without like really officially knowing at the time.
Okay. So, Kenny, you know, I know that you have many social media platforms. You have many Facebook pages. So I want you to just talk to us a little bit about who Agent Rex is. Because what I'm really curious to hear more about is this infamous Madonna audition that you went on.
Okay. So the day before the audition, I feel like I'm being abused a little bit about my family, and it's a classic Cinderella story, and I don't know how to explain more. You just do your research. How does Kenny feel like that? Just look online, okay? Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm crying online, essentially. And one of my friends goes, "Oh, there's a Madonna audition tomorrow." And
There
I was
you
like,
go.
"Bitch,
You have
I'm
a
gonna
nice
go. I'm
outlet.
gonna
You
go."
have an
Yeah.
outlet to go audition. Get
Hell
away
yeah.
from this drama. Get away
That's
from this
right.
chaos.
Fuck the drama. Go to Madonna. Try to get in there.
Yes,
Be a
you could tell
dancer.
me- Yeah.
Okay, so you needed this outlet and you had this Madonna audition. You needed to just like have this way to express yourself. There was a Madonna.
Express yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, I was her biggest fan, in my opinion.
Exactly.
before
Yeah,
that.
you were her biggest fan, and you wanted to go audition for her 2011 for her MDMA,
Yeah.
MDNA. I'm sorry, not the drug.
Yeah. Yeah, not the drug.
Not the
like,
drug. So-
One little piece of the letter.
So what were you exactly, what type of role were you specifically auditioning for?
Okay, well, when my friend sent it, I just sends it to me like randomly, like a picture of the ad, and I'm like reading it. You had to be from New York City or Connecticut only to show up in person.
Yeah.
And
And I
this
was
was
like,
in
well, how
Manhattan.
dare she?
Wait,
Yeah,
Kenny,
in
this was in Manhattan.
Yes.
Okay.
And, like,
Was
I
this
couldn't
for
go
a
on
music
person
video or for like a
to be on
concert?
the MDNA tour.
Okay,
Okay,
so like
gotcha.
as a dancer on
Yeah.
stage
Yeah,
with her.
but it's
Okay.
an unknown tour. It's not like I know the title of the tour.
Gotcha.
It's just an unknown upcoming tour. You know, there's like she was like sponsoring was smeared off, and she was using a confession tour photo. Maybe that's why it's like, is it a confession error? No, that's just the photo that they happened to use. I didn't make that photo. That photo is like honestly like what they was out there.
So it sounds to me like this audition came at a time in your life where you really needed a good escape. So when you went to the audition, clearly
I knew I wasn't allowed.
You weren't allowed, but you went for it anyways because you're a dreamer, right?
And can you also tell them can you tell our listeners what you were wearing?
Okay, so I decided, okay, she's Madonna, that's, that's the Virgin Mary, all that, right? And I'm like, you just take it from there. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go in like her priest, like, because she was like, what she did. Like, but like I made it like my own thing too. Cause I'm like, I'm royalty, I'm king. And usually like the religion, especially like the king terms, nobody says like supreme leader and thinks about Christ. They think about like what goes on over in a communism religion. So it's like, it was like kings, royalties, and like, that's what Madonna's about. So I was like, okay, so like, why don't you just appear like you're like her son or her lover or her, like you know what I mean? Like mysterious,
The outfit that I saw you in during the audition,
Kind of like Grim Reaper.
Very Grim Reaper.
Yeah, well, it was my idea of like a priest thing, because it might have been a Grim Reaper for when I used it, and I think I used it again after the Madonna concert. I'm not quite sure exactly when I got it. I could look at my photos and see when the first time it popped up and remember.
It looks like those, like, like those Party City kind of costume
I probably
things.
got it. That's why I probably got it from, like, I'm just like in college. Like, my family's making fun of me because they think, oh, you're never going to be able to be just as famous.
So, listeners, if you don't know, so Kenny King, an ultimate Madonna fan, an icon, went to a Madonna audition to be a backup dancer for her tour.
Not that it was like ever. Yeah. It wasn't like, a goal, but it was like, the opportunity was like,
it's a good opportunity.
Dancing.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I love her, and I would have wanted to done something with her at some point in time, no matter
and I mean,
what.
like,
you know what I mean? It was like, let me try this. I was actually not 100% devastated whatsoever, because I had like a backup plan.
Yeah. And I mean, like, listen, like Kenny King, the artist, right? And Madonna, the artist, like, it kind of seems like, like a match made in heaven, and one would think like, you would have gotten in more easily.
Okay, this is where the movie starts, because it's just like the movie The Artist, because the events from The Artist, remember that movie that came out at the same time?
Yeah.
Coincidentally, the storyline did the same. I'm the girl in that movie, and she's the older gentleman who's like, oh, here's someone, oh, now they want me to go away.
Right. Oh, I got you.
But it never meant for the young one to be insulting, but at the same time, you might be like, oh, hey, look at me, I'm music party.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't mean to be mean.
Kenny, let's talk about, like, I know I saw some like Facebook posts, right, where you're like, either Madonna stole some ideas from me.
Well, first I was made fun of all over her website, Explosive Club.
Tell us about that. Why did they make fun of you on her website?
Well, just for fans. So, like, it's not like publicly beyond if you don't pay for the membership.
Okay.
I put up my video of like me singing her "Like It or Not" at my talent show.
Okay.
Because all the kids made fun of how I was sound, so my voice is terrible. My first performance ever live. You can't audition at Madonna's thing because you gotta be from Connecticut or New York City only, because they want you to be there on time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm from Jersey, I can get there quicker than people who live up the city and up the river. Like, in Connecticut, come on. So I showed up. Right. I drove around for 2 hours in the rain, playing like all these epic songs of her that she had up to that point in time.
Yeah.
And then I finally showed up and parked my car and got out with all the items. And when you watch the video, that's when the video starts. Okay, and I do the auditioning thing and trying to get her attention.
Okay.
So I try to show up like a normal person, but I'm in a costume. So I try to audition. So I start crying. First, I start demanding all the stuff I just told you. They still won't let me audition or like be in line officially, because my license says New Jersey, not Connecticut or New York City. So I just go to the back and I just start crying, like auto-tune baby. And I'm just crying. I'm holding a dog. Stuffed animal, because she's born in "If I Were an Animal, I'd Be a Dog."
Okay, I get it.
She also sings "If I Were a Lion, If I Were an Animal, I'd Be a Lion." That's the first verse she says it that way, or the first chorus.
So you're paying homage.
Yeah.
You're paying homage.
Kenny's an artist.
I brought my book of shadows with me that had like all these spells that helped me get out of prison,
Oh yeah,
like,
and we want to hear all
Kenny,
about
like,
that later
that,
on.
Like, ask me in the future.
Yeah. Oh, we have so much more for our listeners, but right now we want to get to the nitty gritty. Kenny King has a feud with Madonna. Not even a feud, but it's like
she robs my house a week later or two.
Oh my God!
No,
Tell us. Kenny.
Wait, what?
Madonna robbed Kenny King.
Tell us how Madonna robbed your house.
If you play the song, I see you coming and I don't want to know your name. She kicks down the front door like how my Aunt Judy's house, who I used to live in her house in the basement, like Harry Potter.
So how did she break into your house?
So how did
music video? She storms through.
That's my last known address.
What is the symbolism?
That's where she thinks I live. She thinks I live at the house. In the music video, the whole setup is the exact same blueprint as my aunt's house. If you stand to the same exact spot where you would put a camera. It's like a duplicate.
Okay, so Madonna
like
thinks...
it's slightly different. Like maybe it's a different color shade of pink or red instead of the same exact color my aunt had. But everything else is the same as a bush there, and it's like it's it's generic, but it's also like you know what I mean? Like you can't really prove it because I'm gonna kill you. Bang bang, shot you dead. Oh, you avoided my shot. You're clever. Just look up Madonna songs. Just think of the whole album.
Are you basically saying that like in Madonna's lyrics she references these things and like how?
Yeah, at very least she does "Forgive Me All Your Loving" because I have proof because she released it when she first recorded it when she first did the video for it.
Yeah.
Wow, so it sounds to me like Madonna is communicating to Kenny via her artistic expression.
It sure does. Wow.
Very unusual.
It's very unusual. And what a great story. We just would like to thank Kenny for coming on Bizarre Buffet. It's been a real treat and a pleasure. And I mean, for anyone listening, you can find Kenny King online. I mean, Google him. He's famous. And if you want to Google Bizarre Buffet, you can find us on Instagram at Bizarre Buffet and on Facebook.
You can find us on Facebook. And also, I highly suggest subscribing to Bizarre Buffet on Apple Podcasts.
Absolutely, Apple Podcasts. If you have a moment and you enjoy the show, please rate and review positively, of course. And if you're in the generous giving spirit and you feel like Oprah or one of those other people, you can find us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Bizarre Buffet. And we will see you all very soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.